Hey, good morning, friend. Oh, goodness, that is hot. I'm closer to on time today. Proud of myself. Yesterday was a whole thing with I updated my watch and it took like literally all day. It's all good. Good morning and welcome to Inspired Living Live. My name is Becca Jackson York and I am just a human trying to live my best life and help you to do the same through the power of positivity, a lot of humor, a little grace, and some casual swearing. So let's get into it. Hey, good morning, Kelly, and anybody else who's here now or later, just like drop a like, drop a comment. Let us know that you stopped by. Facebook doesn't always tell me right away, but just know that I appreciate that you're here, that you're part of this community, and that you got up to live your best life today. Okay, so today's topic, I have two couple things. One is I want to remind you what the pillars of a best life are and the idea, like the methodology of my inspired living best life mindset situation is. And then the second thing is how to make time for that. So step one, I'm going to talk to you about the pillars. So, after my experience growing and through my own growth journey, I've sort of come up with this idea of how it is that you can build a best life for yourself. And I want you to imagine with me kind of like a Colosseum style situation where we've got like a marble slab, we have 4 pillars, and then we have another slab on the top. And so the bottom of that, the biggest part of it, the base of your best life on which you build is your mindset. It's taking time to figure out how your brain is controlling your life. So what is going on in here? What are you saying to yourself? What are you reading? What are you listening to? How are you encountering the world? And how are you able to reframe situations using your mindset? And building that up first is the key to having a higher quality of life. So then on top of that mindset, we have 4 pillars. The first pillar is your physical health. When I'm talking physical health, I mean sleep, movement, and food. And that's it. Like keeping it simple, those 3 things. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you moving your body? And are you eating foods that bless your body and consuming stuff that's good for you? When you're building that pillar, it's simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Okay, pillar 2, financial health. This is a pillar that I feel like I'm really working on, and maybe you feel the same. But we have to face it. Financial health is a real part of having a best life. Financial health is telling yourself the truth about your finances and the way that you spend money, how you encounter the world, with your energetic exchange of money. My daughter actually said the other day, she was like such a little philosopher. She goes, Mom, money isn't yours. It's just your turn with it. And I was like, whoa, powerful stuff. So finances are an energetic exchange, and you have to figure out how to get yours in order. If you are always out of money, even if you're constantly hustling to make money, we have a tendency in our mindset, let's go back to that base, to spend ourselves to where it is that we have always been, and that feels comfortable. So I'll unpack more on money mindset coming up maybe next week. The third pillar is your spiritual health. And when I talk about spiritual health and connectedness, for me, that's me and God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit and all of that stuff. Like, I know that I am part of a larger whole. I believe in a higher power. But for you, you might be at a place where you struggle with that, but something that is a truth for all of us is that we are one of a human race and that we are part of a connected community. And if we cannot grasp the idea that there is something bigger than we are, then we are not going to be able to balance our best life. And then pillar 4 is our relationships. What's going on in your relationships? By relationships, I don't just mean who's in your bed. I mean, who are your people in your life? Who are your friends? Who is your family? Who are the people that really matter to you? Who are your colleagues, even if they're like not in your inside circle? How are your relationships? And those a lot of times tie back to mindset. We are built to be in community. And so relationships are so powerful to help balance your best life on top of those 4 pillars, which were built on your mindset. So in case you hadn't watched the 4 pillars of a best life video, I really wanted you to see that today, and soak in what that means and understand that as we move through this community together, that's how I'm going to be tying things in to help you build your best life. Okay. The second thing I want to tell you is unless you choose to, you're not going to build it. Unless you choose to set aside time to build your best life, it will not build itself. It does not happen in the hustle. It happens in the quiet moments between you pouring yourself out and you being completely burned out and asleep. Okay? If your schedule is thing next to thing, next to thing, next to thing, and there's no downtime, there's not going to be a space for you to build your best life. And so there's two parts to that I want to talk to you about. A thing that keeps coming up for me when I'm talking to people in their clarity call, when I'm talking to people just in general about their lives and what they're feeling. They're feeling super busy. Does this sound like you? Super busy, super overscheduled, pulled in a million different directions, not able to find time for yourselves, feeling scattered, feeling distracted, feeling like you can't get anything done, and you need to get everything done. Okay. So there are two things that I want to talk about as far as like finding time. And time, so the first place is very beginning of your day, very end of your day. Okay, those are the two natural places where you can build in time. You can choose to create a routine around that time. So if you're getting up at 6 and you're scrolling your phone until 7, there is time there. You're choosing a numbing device. I'm not shaming you for that, but I'm telling you that that's a moment where you can be choosing something that's going to pour into you more purposefully than scrolling your phone. If you are, again, scrolling, watching TV, doing whatever at night for an hour, 2 hours before you go to bed, that is another place where you can build in time for stuff that is going to build you up. Okay, just a natural place in your day, the first 30 minutes or the last 30 minutes of your day, where you can have a routine that's going to fill your soul. I'm not saying do homework about deep dive questions every day. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody's like me and loves to just like peel back all the layers and be like, look, I'm raw. Just like see my heart and let it bleed. Like that's not for everybody, but you could choose to just take the quiet, meditate, brain dump, free form journaling with a stream of consciousness. That's the word I'm looking for. There are lots of different things that you can do, and we talk about those a lot here in the Inspired Living community. The second place I want to give you time, and this is not necessarily a place for you to intentionally grow in this time, but this is what I'm currently working on, is when you're time blocking your day, when you're choosing what your day looks like, put white space in between things. It actually takes time to physically travel from one place to another. It takes time to shift your mind from one idea to the next. So if you're saying, okay, I've got a hair appointment at 9 and I've got to go do nails at 10 and I got to go to church at 11 and I got to have lunch with Sally at 12 and I got to have, I got to go take care of the kids at 1, like, put in 5, 10, 15 minutes, putting your travel time in between those blocks. Because unless you're sitting right at your desk, taking a Zoom meeting back to back to back to back to back, you're going to need time to shift. And even then, you might need some time. So I just want to encourage you that you can do this. You are fully capable of making this happen. And I know that it is hard to face the fact that you are standing still and not growing towards your best life. I have been there. I've been there time and again. I've been there in the middle of my growth journey. You hit a plateau or you just hit pause. Like, I mean, we all know that the pandemic was just like a kind of a disaster for your brain, you know what I mean, and your body. It's been a really, really hard year, and I'm not going to negate that, and I want to give you grace. But I also want to call you to action today. Like, what I hope you're hearing me say is get off your ass and go build your best life. Like, I mean that from a place of love. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I think about the moments in my life when I've been on fire, and that is because I was working towards being a better version of myself every single day. And that does not mean changing the world every day. That means taking that 30 minutes at the beginning of the day to pour into myself, to find a system that works, to create these pillars of a best life so I can zoom out and actually reflect and go, oh, if I'm thinking on a scale of 1 to 10, my finances are at a 5, that's the pillar I need to focus on. right? So if you need help getting clear on where you're headed and what you want from your life, I really, really, gosh, please just take advantage of this opportunity to get a free 30-minute clarity call with me. Let's get some clarity on where it is that you want to go. Let's do that together. I'm here for it. I freaking love you. Like, I love you enough to tell you to get off your ass and do this. Like, let's go. So I'm going to drop my Calendly link in here, and I want you to set up a time. Okay? And let's talk, because I want to connect with you, and I want you to have the space you need to figure out where you need the space. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and I'm going to end it there. So I love you. I'm headed on a mission trip, so I'll have a different backdrop later this week. I'm not sure I'm going to shoot for 7:30 the rest of the week. We'll see what happens the next 2 days. But until next time, get up, show up, don't give up, schedule your 30-minute call, and get out there and live your best life. Bye, friends.